I hate this.
Look at these beds.
I hate this.
Yeah. This is no joke, Scary.
Swear to God, if we drive in the rain back to our hotel and we see like a hitchhiker or something, just hit him with your car. We're just leaving. We're not stopping?
Can we just drive past him?
You gotta make sure he's dead.
Alright, let's get out of here.
Well, Reed, we're going to Saskatchewan. Have you ever been?
Never.
I hear it's flat.
Yeah, except for right here, where it is the opposite of flat.
So we just stopped off for some lunch on our way to Prince Albert, and we looked at the front of our car after driving across the prairies for several hours, and it's gross. I wouldn't be surprised if we killed half the dragonfly population of Manitoba on our way out of that province. The gross part is there's flies eating the blood and guts of their fallen allies. That's gross. That's nasty. Oh.
Welcome to Friendly to Manitoba.
You know what this is, Reed?
What?
This is environmental storytelling. If you pass a bunch of cars in a parking lot and you look at the front of this one, you're like, this car's been somewhere. You don't need to spell out in a note on the ground what happened. You just look at the front of this car and you're like, this car's been somewhere. How's the drive, Reed?
Pretty good.
8 hours, how do you feel?
Piece of cake,
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Bring to Light tour. We're going across Canada finding the spookiest, scariest, most haunted locations to promote our horror game, Bring to Light. Today we're in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan at Kinsmen Park, which is home to several unmarked graves and some of the last public hangings in Canada. Let's go see how haunted this park really is. In the early 20th century, there were several public hangings in this park. What used to be a courthouse at the south end of the park, which is now a water park, weird flip, but at that courthouse, several people were hung. They couldn't afford graves, and if some people didn't have a family with them who could put up the money for a proper burial, they would just dig a shallow grave somewhere in this corner of the park, drop the bodies, and call it a day. Historians several years later have dug up this part of the park through renovations, putting down sidewalks and such, and have found the remains of many people, several of whom can't be identified anymore due to poor record keeping at the time. The city's historical society believes that Prince Albert has the most unmarked graves per capita than any city in Canada. The largest unmarked gravesite found was 21 people.
So do you think there could be bodies right under here?
There very well could be. Anywhere that hasn't been worked on in terms of installing sidewalks or that stage over there hasn't been dug up in probably over a century. And there could quite possibly be many people's remains under our very feet.
Did you bring a shovel?
I didn't bring a shovel, and I will not be disturbing any spirits tonight. I'm taking enough ghosts home with me from the rest of this trip. The last person known to be hung in this park was John Wilson, who in 1912 immigrated here from Scotland. He worked for the Northwest Mounted Police, and soon after starting became very ill with tuberculosis, and he fell in love with the nurse who was taking care of him. She became his mistress, and when his wife immigrated over from Scotland, he actually murdered his wife so that he could remarry his mistress. He was found guilty and hung in this park in April 1923. One of the other men hung in this park was Sam. Sam immigrated from China to Canada in 1900. 9 years later, he opened a restaurant in Prince Albert's downtown. While he was working there, one of his colleagues was discovered to be stealing money from his restaurant. So Sam went out and bought a gun and killed his coworker behind the restaurant. One of the other coworkers came out and saw him, and Sam tried to kill him too, but he got away. He chased him for 2 blocks until a bystander pinned Sam down until police arrived. Sam was hung in this park in March 1912, and his remains were buried in the park. Obviously, the gallows are no more, and pretty much every remaining symbol of the jailhouse and the crimes and punishments that took place here are gone. By day, it's a water park with barbecues and families celebrating. But at night, people have reported hearing strange things or seeing weird objects or people around the park, whether it's the remains of a corpse or the shadow of a noose. A lot of the history in this park can be felt, and people have reported a lot of weird feelings walking through this park at night. Personally, I don't believe in ghosts, and that might be a weird thing to say on a Bring to Light ghost tour video, but I definitely feel there's a somber presence here, and many people lost their lives, some unjustly, in this very park, and were buried here, and will largely be forgotten by history. Being able to document that's pretty cool. You feel any weird presences here, Reed?
No, but I'm not really a ghost. What was that? Just kidding. Just kidding, guys. Gotcha.
That's it for this episode of the Bring to Light tour in Kinsmen Park in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're interested, we've created a mobile AR app that you can download on your phone to keep up with us across Canada and see more information about the locations we're visiting. You can even play with the Bring to Light monsters in your very own home. Thank you to the Canada Media Fund who made this trip possible with their support of amazing indies across Canada like Red Meat Games and our very own Bring to Light. My name's Steven, Reed's behind the camera. Have a great evening. Cool autumn breeze descends on the park. Will, Reed, and Steven make it back to their car alive.
Before dark.
Tune in next time on Tales from the Crypt.